Something's going on. I'm getting all these virus alerts, and you would think it would be your computer giving virus alerts
Oh,
for the
please. I
trouble
don't
you
even want
have.
to talk about it. You know what? I mean, because
Well, apparently my PC has a Trojan.
Really?
I think the PC's trying to get lucky tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
They found him face down in his waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should have.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August 17th.
Jessica, or two others.
Too many people are calling while I'm trying to do the show, but I apologize for that. It's Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Not him.
There we go. Now I'm off.
There we go. All right.
That way you guys couldn't hear me eating my beefaroni.
Eating your beefaroni. I apologize for that technical issue there. Somebody couldn't have timed that phone call any better. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Well, you know what? Maybe a black cat walked in front of you today and caused that.
I think that might have been it. I think that actually might have been it.
Yeah, because it is what, Black Cat Appreciation Day?
It is National. No, it's not National Black Cat Appreciation Day.
No, not national.
Black
You always
Cat,
put the national in front.
always
Not
got to put the
everything-
national.
Not everything
Sometimes
has a national in front.
But you know what? Sometimes I say international, and it's actually international, so it goes both ways.
The cat goes both ways?
I don't know. You got to ask it. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it is Black Cat Appreciation Day. So do you appreciate black cats?
Yeah, I've never run afoul of a black cat. I mean, I've had them walk across my path many times and not had anything bad happen. But then again, also Friday the 13th tends to be one of my favorite days. Good things usually happen to me on Friday the 13th, so I don't know.
There you go. It's kind of weird, actually. And last Friday was Friday the 13th, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yeah, and that was Carrie's birthday.
There you go. So happy birthday, belated to
Belated?
Carrie.
Well, you were there. You already wished her a happy birthday.
I did. Well, I didn't wish it on the air, so I'm just doing it now.
Well, we weren't on the air that day. We weren't on that. We actually had just coming back from vacation.
Uh-huh.
But you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is
what
it is.
What is the meaning of this anyway? Just curious.
The meaning of is.
What is the meaning of is?
Well, it depends on what the meaning of the word is.
Could you define the word is, please, for me?
If is means is and never has been, that is not. That is one thing. If it means there is none, that is a completely true statement.
True.
I'm actually quoting Bubba.
Bubba, yes.
Ex-President Clinton.
Ex-President Bubba.
And he was being
impeached. Could you define the word is, please?
Yeah, he was being impeached for his
cigar usage.
His cigar usage. Is that one pre-dipped?
No. This one's not dipped at all. It's natural. You know, I mean, port, Scotch, bourbon. Those are one thing, but you know.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Well, if that's the case. No, yeah. I dip that as I light it. I don't.
But it was funny. But he was being impeached, and someone used the word "is" in a question. I haven't been able to find the exact question, and he asked him to define the word "is," and it was hilarious to see them so flabbergasted by his follow-up question to their question. I don't think he ever wound up answering the question.
I don't think
I think it was his name.
Yeah. So, in any event, so why don't we bring our guest to this raucous beginning to this show so far? Why don't
we should?
Why don't we bring our guest on?
Who is he?
Our guest tonight is Mr. John Kleinchester from Two Roads Brewing in Stratford, Connecticut.
Hey now,
this guy right here. You might have seen him for a brief 2 seconds when I went to click Dave's mic. And click John's feed instead.
I just wanted in so bad. Sorry,
I missed that. I was really concentrating on my.
They're right next to each other, so that was my mistake, though. I take full responsibility for that. So, anyway, how are you, John? How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. I much appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
No, we're happy you came on. Definitely. I mean, we've been wanting to have you on. and definitely want to get some Connecticut brewery exposure too on the show. I don't think we've done a brewery in Connecticut yet, have we?
No, I do not believe we have. No.
I believe you're right.
This is the first Connecticut.
There you go. So,
Breaking the seal.
Breaking the seal. We've talked about that already. So.
Yes, we did.
All right. We've mentioned that. Might have been a few minutes before.
Also known that's the name of Carrie's Instagram.
Breaking the seal, yes.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she likes it. If there's a cool bathroom in a brewery or a bar, she'll take a picture of it, and then she posts that on Instagram under the hashtag Breaking the Seal.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. She's been doing that for years.
Brian Alt wants to say, what's up, boys? Our producer.
What's up, Brian?
Our producer, saying, we'll tell you about that in a second. And he said beertography himself right there.
Beertography.
Speaking of hashtags, yeah.
Hashtag beertography.
Oh, is hashtag beertography is your Instagram?
Yeah, that's
Well,
kind of how I backdoored my way into the beer industry.
business.
I've heard of people backdooring their way into businesses before, but they're not photography.
So,
Not via
Maybe with-
Instagram.
Maybe with cigars.
why don't we open a beer, and then
do
you
that.
tell us how you did that. All right.
Are we supposed to be drinking beer? That seems out of place for the show. I don't.
No, well,
No,
I mean,
it's allowable.
sometimes we do.
Okay.
Occasionally.
What's
So,
weird
okay.
though is we rarely ever drink lagers on the show.
Yes, we rarely drink lagers. I'm drinking one tonight. He's drinking 3.
I'm drinking. Well, if we get to 3.
If we get
Yeah,
to 3, yeah.
If I get to 3.
At least 2. At least 2. But we're coming up on lager season, so we're going to have a lot more of them. So this is true. So, all right. Who's going first? Who wants to? Well, John, guest of honor. Why don't you
I
tell
get
us
to
what
go
you're
first?
doing? You get to go first.
So I figured we all have something in common tonight. Sounds like we were all in Maine very recently.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get into that a little bit later, but I want to add to that theme. So I brought back some Maine beer, but unfortunately, this is the last one in the fridge because that's how I roll.
There you go.
So I wasn't really it wasn't a lot of selection to pull from, but I went with Bissell Brothers Baby Genius Ale.
Very nice.
Not a bad thing to be left with.
No, and it's a small start, so I don't have to ramp up too quickly. So
There you go. That's only a 4%, right?
yes,
There
that
you
is
go.
correct. It was a perfect beer for floating on the lake that we were at up in Maine. So
There you go. Where'd
Which
you go?
lake? Yeah, which lake?
So is that, well, technically it's called a pond in Maine.
Yes, they are ponds up there.
Yeah, very strange for this Jersey guy. But it's called Bonnie Eagle Pond, and it's just south of Lake Sebago, which is ginormous. Yeah. Been doing it for years and years, and that's the only problem is that it's so beautiful there that it's hard to leave and actually go to breweries. So
Right.
you have to wait for a rainy day to go out there. So I'm gonna
This
pour
is
this.
true.
Is that okay?
Yeah, pour away.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right.
Hard.
What do you,
We're gonna
let's see.
Lake
There.
Sebago.
Very
I
nice.
think
Oh,
we're. Well, there's a brewery. Oh, nice haze.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cheers. Oh, I'll wait
Cheers.
for you guys. I was
Yeah.
gonna drink.
There you
No,
go.
I'll wait.
All right,
I'll wait.
Dave.
Okay.
Samurai,
Well,
what are you pouring?
well, even though I just got back from Maine very recently, not as recently as John. John targeted his Maine trip mostly to Portland.
Right.
We went up to Acadia, but I didn't bring back. Well, I brought back a whole lot of Maine beer, but I'm not drinking any Maine beer on the show. Actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, no, everything I've got is actually from Massachusetts.
You're drinking Massachusetts beer on the show tonight. Well, you had to go through Massachusetts to get to Maine, so it's kind of part of the trip, you know.
Yeah.
Either that or it's very, very roundabout.
And technically, you left Maine after I did because you were in Maine longer. We went down to Boston. So
Yep, you got to Boston on the 13th. We left Maine the morning of the 14th.
Yeah.
So, but what I did is
Now,
on the
everybody
way
knows
back-
that there will be a quiz later, so remember that.
and there's
I'm taking notes.
including a map. You have to point out Lake Sebago on the map. Just go to Maine, look for something ginormous.
See,
The
really big blue area on the map, just look a little below that. That's the pond that John was at.
Correct.
What Eagle Pond?
Bonnie Eagle.
Bonnie
Pond.
Eagle. Bonnie, Scottish for a pretty eagle, huh?
Sure.
I guess.
Sure.
Bonnie? I don't know.
Works for me.
But on our way back, we stopped in Amesbury, Massachusetts. What's in Amesbury,
Amesbury.
Massachusetts, you may ask? A couple of breweries.
A couple of breweries, yes.
One is Beowulf. We stopped there. They have skee ball. They've got a pinball machine. They've got a video game. But the beers
A
were
video
good.
game?
They got 3 video games actually, and one of them actually can run like 6 of the classic ones. I think something like that.
One of those
Frog
kind
or
of things.
Pac-Man,
Yeah, I gotcha. Right.
So, but around the corner is a place called Brewery Sylvaticus. This is one of our favorite breweries on this trip. Big surprise, never been. And this beer here, quintessential. Wound up ordering this after seeing it poured. I don't think I'm going to be able to pour it as well as they poured this thing. Hopefully I can get...
You can't pour it as well as they poured it?
I don't think so. Because they did the classic, wait for it, and then...
Oh, that type of pour.
Straight down the middle to get that nice head on there. It's actually not too far off from the way it looked and what really... Oh, I'm not even showing it.
Ooh. That looks nice.
Pretty. That's very pretty.
And John got a picture of the one that they poured for me, and it's not too far off, is it?
It's not too far off. That's a pretty good pour. That's pretty good compared to the one you showed me.
This is a German Pilsner, and it's funny because we're gonna I'm gonna point this out later after I drink another beer. Note the spelling of Pilsner. It's
with
the
German,
the German, because it is a beer from Pilsen, right? So that's Pilsener,
as opposed to Berlin.
Oh, I drank already. We didn't do the cheers. You got it, John.
And Frankfurt,
Frankfurter, Hamburg.
Hamburger. Add the ER on. You got something to eat or drink. There you go.
This actually goes very well with beefaroni.
All righty then.
That is the traditional BJCP pairing, I think.
So before I open my beer, I'll tell you a quick little backstory. On Friday, as Dave was referring to before, we did go to we did stop at Allagash early in the morning. Actually, when they first opened up. In fact, I think we're going to change the Lager Room picture to this. What do you think?
Nice.
There we are. In all of our glory.
In all our glory. There you go. So, and in honor of that, I'm wearing this hat, which I didn't buy this trip. I had it already. But in any event, I'll be drinking an Allagash from Maine with Love No. 4.
This is the lemon verbena.
This is the lemon verbena. Yes, let me throw that up there. This is the lemon verbena saison. 5.2%. So
sounds tasty.
Long discussion about the pronunciation.
Verbena, verbana.
And we decided to go with the Little House on the Prairie pronunciation of it.
Verbena.
Which was verbena.
Verbena, yes.
Verbena,
yes. In any event, I was going to pour it. I have an Allagash glass. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm at least using a Maine glass. I'm pouring it in a Rising Tide glass. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
All connected.
It's all kind of connected there.
Actually, one that I did not visit this time.
You didn't get there?
No, after Bellflower, I was tapping out.
That's right. You did say that.
Yep. Oh, and I'll be remiss if you notice the shirt. This is how much I like them. I got to get the shirt.
There you go. There's the Rising Tide glass.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, my God, that's so pretty, that beer. The lemon verbena banabana works so good in that saison.
This was my second favorite Pilsner on the trip.
Second favorite. Dave and I both concur on the top number one.
We'll bring that up later.
We'll talk later about
teaser.
So,
oh
exactly. Yeah, teaser alert. There you go.
Also, foreshadowing.
Whatchamacallit? Brian said John waited, but Dave was right in.
It's hard to pour this thing and not go right into
it. I don't blame you.
Oh, wait a second. Was he talking about the cigar? Or was he?
I think he was talking about the beer, but who knows? And Gene says, John Kleinchester.
Hey,
I'm assuming that's what he meant with the 3 exclamation points.
It must be cheers.
Cheers. So, cheers, Brian and Gene, and there's other people watching
guys.
too, but cheers to you too. There you go. Cheers. All right. Well, back to the story of you backdooring into the beer industry. Before we get to it, though, I got to ask you the question we always ask everybody on the show. Mm-hmm. What was the first craft beer you ever had? And it can be an ish.
It's definitely an ish. So I went to Ithaca College for my undergrad. Mm-hmm. I say that as if I had any overgrad, and I did not. I don't know why. Undergrads always sounds weird. So Ithaca Brewery was a thing, even though it was a long time ago. I think they were still relatively new. I can't remember when they started.
It's still a thing now, but it's not a thing anymore right now.
When I went there, it was half homebrew shop, and it was tiny right. At the time.
Sure.
But anyway, Yeah, I'm pretty old.
He's pretty old. Not as old as the two of us, but getting there eventually.
Nah, I'm stopping here. I remember buying Ithaca Nut Brown, and that was probably 2000, I guess 3, 4, something like that.
Right.
And at the time, I was in college, so I was mostly drinking. Oh, at the time it was Peels because that was the cheapest thing at Wegmans.
Peels.
The 549 12 pack that we could buy.
You paid that much for it?
I know. Well, actually, we'd bring our deposits back to Wegmans, so usually, you get
got money back
for that. Yeah.
The beer taxes weren't as high in New York back then.
This is true, yeah.
That's
and you
true.
got 5 cents back per can, right?
Yeah, I think so. So you bring a ton of them in and almost get the whole thing for free.
You're good to go. Yeah. That's how much it costs. It only costs 5 cents a can. So the beer was free. Just bring the cans back. Just
sweep out the frat houses, and you can drink for free all semester.
Right.
Seriously, we weren't that dedicated, unfortunately.
No.
So that was that was the first one I remember drinking and being like, this is so different. Like it wasn't beer to me at the time. I was just like, I don't dislike this, but it's just different,
Right.
And that was the first one I could remember. And then a couple of years later out of college, I wasn't really drinking any. I guess I remember drinking some like Hennepin and a couple other like kind of random bottles that I'd find.
Right.
And I remember drinking Hoegaarden. Why, I don't know, just kind of something to try. And then
people that call it Hoegaarden.
I know.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, I mean, it's a totally different thing. It has a totally different meaning then.
I've been corrected by so many bartenders.
Well, you're also that guy because I've done
the
same thing.
There you go.
Oh yeah, for sure. But then I started, for whatever reason, I found myself on some message board about talking about beer, and everyone was talking about this beer called Hop Slam and how it was the best beer in the world. And I was like, what? Huh? Why is it? What makes it so good? Blah blah blah. Anyway, long story short, I ended up setting up a trade. I didn't know what I was doing. I've never traded beer before. I went to a store and bought some, like I had to ask the guy in the store for help because I didn't know what I was doing. So I ended up buying some like Weyerbacher and Trogs and stuff, like some local-ish stuff that I can send to, I think the guy was in Michigan, and he sent me a 6-pack of Hop Slam. And I got it, cooled it down, took the first bottle out of the 6-pack and immediately dropped it on my kitchen floor and it exploded all over the place. So this is off to a great start.
There you go.
But then I of course was drinking out of the bottle too, which, thinking about that now is like, I would have slapped myself, but yeah. And then I tried that and they talk about the, the lupulin shift of your palate when you try like hoppy stuff. It was like too intense for me at first, but then as I continued to drink through the 6-pack, I was like, by the end, I was like, this is actually really good. Sure. The hype is real. And so that kind of kickstarted the craft beer obsession. So it's kind of two different parts there, but very, very different start to a beer drinking career.
Yeah, so
it's interesting that the first really hoppy beer you had was Hop Slam, considering you went to school up near Ithaca. Flower Power,
I know,
which is one of the first great IPAs out of the Northeast.
Sure, absolutely. Were they making Flower Power then, or was it just the Nut Brown?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. They were 03 or so. I think it was
possibly
out, but yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I remember there being Hopzilla, and I think that might have been a little bit later though. And that was a red ale, I think it was. And that actually
was a red IPA, I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, which was like what? I don't. Yeah. What are those letters? I don't know.
It's a red IPA. What?
Yeah,
right. Red IPA.
And then years later, you find yourself in a bar explaining to everybody why an India Pale Ale is not actually from India; it's from England, and this is why.
Right.
Oh, I love that conversation.
That's a great conversation. But it's funny that you could still have it today. There's still people that you need to tell that conversation. There's people that drink IPAs. Like they're and I don't mean New England IPAs. I mean actually, hoppy, West Coast IPAs that don't know that story. So it's cool to have that with them.
Well, you think about it, you get the a lot of breweries for the whole it's Indian thing with like we'll take Avery's the Maharaja. So, and a lot of the names have like an Indian cast to them.
Sure.
Not Caste. That's a double entendre. But so it kind of gets forwarded along by that. But who can blame them? You need, with all the good names starting to be taken up and gone, you need to come up with something new.
That's true.
You do. That is definitely true. So, all right. Well, that was good. So talk about your backdooring into the business. Talk about your.
I'll never live this down now.
Yeah, no, go for it.
So from there, I did some more beer trades and things like that. Just trying different things and kind of exploring. I specifically remember I was working in Manhattan at the time, and I remember taking the train to Brooklyn into Park Slope to the store Beercraft.
Sure.
And unfortunately not around anymore, but one of the first kind of beacons of at least that I was aware of as far as beer stores, that they had amazing selection. And just to further how embarrassing I was to start out, I walked in there and someone came up and was like, "Hey, can I help you?" And I was like, "Hey, do you guys have a Hop Slam?" And thinking back now, I mean, now it's distributed in New York. Bell's is distributed in New York City, but at the time it was not. And they didn't laugh at me, but they were like, "No, you could probably find something similar, though." It's embarrassing in retrospect, I guess. But
it depends on who you talk to. I mean, not who you talk to about it, who you were talking to then at the store.
Right. Hey,
if it was somebody that was understanding. No, it's not distributed here, dude. But hey, I can get you this, blah, 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 blah. So,
they were very understanding.
Yeah.
I did something that was probably even more impossible. I went into a liquor store and asked for West Vleteren.
Ooh, that's definitely top.
Were you in Amsterdam? Is my question.
I was in Booten.
A little further west from Amsterdam. So.
Just a little further west. Yes, it was.
Of course.
Where else?
If anybody would happen to be those guys, but no.
True.
And
those guys might have had it, in their personal.
They may very well have had it there, but they weren't selling it to you by any means. So.
That's awesome.
Spent a lot of time on that wall.
There you go.
Yes.
We anytime we have the Belgian conversation, we get into it. I say West Vleteren is delicious, but I prefer a couple others to it. But we'll get. Yes, you're aware of that. We'll get into that.
We've been there.
We've been there. We've been over it. So. But it's a great beer, nonetheless. Anyway, so continue.
Oh yeah. So at that point I was, I just wanted to remember. So that this is obviously pre-Untapped. This is probably, I guess 2008-ish, maybe 2009.
Right.
And I just started. Every beer that I'd get a lot of single bottles at the time, and I would just literally take a picture of every single one, and just a simple, point and shoot camera, just whatever against the wall. And I just wanted to remember what I was taking or what I was drinking, so I could, kind of catalog it a little bit. Sure. This is pre-iPhone, I guess, actually. So that's part of the reason why. And then I was like, well, now I have all these pictures. What am I going to do with this? And I was like, you know what? There's people doing blogs and things like that. Why don't I just do like a simple like beer photo blog? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I started. I came up with the term beertography, and Googled it to see if it was already in use. And I figured it was. I mean, it's a silly term, but
it's so easy. Somebody had to have it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I I always say that I don't really. I like the term because beer porn obviously was the phrase that was used first, but I never wanted to tell my mom that I was really into beer porn. So
what do you do with those bottles?
They're not cigars. Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, so beertography was born, and there was no Google results for it. So I was like, all right, stupid, but I kind of like it. I'll just go with it. Sure. And then so just kind of, started off as just literally just maybe a picture. I remember one of my first ones was I got 4 bottles of Black Ops from Brooklyn Brewery, first release. And I just put, like Brooklyn Black Ops 2009 or whatever it was. And that was it. And then, it just kind of evolved from there where I just started. I never really did reviews because I didn't really think I was not important enough, but I just didn't really care. I didn't care about my own opinion, so I didn't think other people would. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, actually.
It does. So I just kind of turned it into like informational and kind of like talking about my experiences and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. It just was kind of like a nice outlet, and got me more interested in finding different beers and things like that. And it kind of just spurred the passion more. And then it kind of increased from there. And I don't really know how this happened. It was Twitter at first, because Instagram wasn't really too much of a thing. But
now you were on just Twitter first that you were.
Yeah, that's when we first started.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when we first met.
Right, exactly. We met over Twitter. Yeah.
The community there was great, and I kind of
DM me.
Definitely was.
Yeah, right. And I don't know how it happened, but I ended up in this awesome group of beer folk. We called ourselves Brew York. And looking back now, most of the people in it are now in the beer industry, which they weren't at the time. Bob Olson was part of it.
Sure.
Chris LaHalt, who went on to work for ABI, John Moxie, who brews in St. Louis now. Anyway, so it was a whole crew, and it was kind of just like a homebrew group and bottle share group. And we met up a bunch of times and just drank a bunch. And then somehow through that, I started getting invites to like beer media things. Like all of a sudden I was being treated like an actual journalist, which
right.
I've never been anything close to an actual
journalist. Well, you kind of were though, John. You really, I mean, I know it's tongue in cheek, but you really at that time and what it was and in what you were doing in that particular genre in its infancy, so to speak, you kind of were actually. So I guess to a certain extent, but I can never accept it. I was just kind of like, I was kind of at every event, kind of like being like, when are they going to throw me out of here? But yeah, it was just
cool.
Go until they do throw you out.
Right. That's basically what I did.
Exactly.
And then
until you make it.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it was. Because beertography.blogspot.com at first, not the greatest credentials for a journalist, I guess. But then through that,
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And you obviously did better by it than beersamurai.blogspot.com.
Hey, gotta love that blogspot.
Exactly.
Classic. And then really from there, I don't know if do you want me to go right into the Two Roads aspect?
Yeah, no, that I mean, this is the lead up to it, so that's what we're here for. So,
drum roll, please.
Right.
It was basically from there. At that point, I was like, I love this industry. The people are so great. The beer is great. I was working in television at the time and hating it. And I just was like, this is so for me. So I kind of, made it clear to anyone that would listen that I was looking to get into the industry. And I have to shout out Mr. John Hall, because he's one of the guys from Brew York that I had met in that group, and he's kind of the one that helped connect me to Two Roads.
Speaking of a journalist.
Yeah, really.
Right, an actual journalist. He's a real, actual accredited journalist.
He's an actual journalist. Yes.
That's what he's told us.
Yeah.
Or so he said on the show, but
right.
We believe them.
We're vetting him. So.
It's taken a while.
He's a great guy, and he definitely. So he actually was friendly with someone who worked at Two Roads, and she had mentioned that Two Roads was looking to. They were only in New York City. I'm sorry, Connecticut and Rhode Island at the time, and they were looking to launch New York City, and John Hall recommended me, saying you got to talk to John Kleinchester, and it's kind of just. I mean, I guess it's a lot of luck and just the connection there that really got things going, because most people, honestly, who get into the beer industry, go a completely different route. They're bartenders, bar managers, retail managers, and that kind of route is the more traditional route, and then distributor reps. So I feel really lucky that I was able to go that route and completely shift gears and switch careers, into something that I really love. So that was fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But so now Two Roads is in a lot of other places, not just Connecticut and Rhode Island. So, and you have a lot to do with that. So,
Yeah, I'll
Not everything to do with it, of course. I'm just saying, but
Right,
you have a lot to
right.
do with it.
I'm a part of it. I'm a part
Give
of it for
yourself
sure.
right. Give yourself a little bit pat on the back. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all right. So what would let's talk about Two Roads a little bit. Let's what's can you give people who might not know a lot about Two Roads a little bit of backstory? Not the the couple paragraph version kind of.
You want me to pull up the website and read the
There you go. Read
story?
it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Do what they can do on their own.
Let me see here. No, so Two Roads started basically. I mean, it kind of came together as an idea of a business where our founders had been in the industry in kind of varying capacities for quite a while. All sorts of different companies: Pabst, Rolling Rock. New England Brewing Company. So they had been friends, and they'd kind of all been in the industry in different roles.
Right.
And the one thing that kept happening was that they would contract their beer at these various companies at different locations, and it was always coming back not quite what they hoped.
Right.
And so there was this common theme between them all that they were kind of wondering, could we open a brewery that could contract pristinely, basically, exactly to spec, and kind of make it perfectly so that people would be really excited about the beer coming out of there and matching what was going on in various locations.
Right.
And so that was kind of the infancy of the idea. And they also wanted to open their own brand, own brewery as well. So it kind of made perfect sense to kind of go we all know that most breweries that open kind of open small and kind of need to expand rather quickly because they're mostly successful and have to, get larger facilities and things like that. Sure. So the idea that our founders had was to kind of raise a bunch of money and open on a large scale so that we could do Two Roads as a brand, but then also the contracting piece as well. And then be able to have more capacity, more brewing space to be able to grow into, where, the contract would be a bigger part to start, or a very, very big part to start. And then Two Roads could kind of grow into that space naturally as it got bigger. Sure. So it was great because, out of the gate, our founders had handshake deals with a couple different breweries, Evil Twin being one of them. That's probably the OGs of contracting out of Two Roads. And they said, if you build it, we'll come brew. So they were like, perfect.
Done, yeah.
So that's kind of how it got off the ground. And obviously it's gone on to, we've now gotten a lot bigger as a brand as far as footprint and all that stuff, like you were mentioning, but we still have the contract piece as well. That was kind of, expected to probably maybe go away at some point, but it's just continued to be successful. So there's no reason to end it when we still have good partnerships with great companies, and still helps keep the lights on and keeps funding the other stuff that Two Roads is doing, like
sure.
Opening a second facility that is all experimental beers and barrel aged stuff. So
now, are you allowed to speak about some of those partners, or do they have non-disclosure because they don't want people to know that they're contract brewing?
It depends. I don't know if I've ever heard don't talk about this one. Okay. The Two Roads sales team doesn't always necessarily know everything that's being brewed there, just because it doesn't really pertain to us. But when we walk through the brewery, we see the cans and things like that, and most people who can take tours will see those too. So it's kind of like you can't really hide that too much.
Right. Right.
But, it's really hard to hide a Lawson's can.
Right. Exactly.
Wait, what are you saying, Dave?
Well, almost everyone knows that Lawson's, some of it comes out of Vermont, but a good chunk of it comes out of Connecticut.
Yeah. Well,
a sip of sunshine anyway. So.
Yes. Yeah, and it's got a rim around, a different colored rim around the top of the can when it comes from there, I believe.
I don't know about that, but Sean Lawson puts on every can of Sip of Sunshine. You can look in it. It says brewed at Two Roads Brewing, Stratford, Connecticut.
Right.
So he wants to be, as far as I know, he wants to be very transparent about that.
Above
and
board about it, transparent about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if some other contract brewer comes through and doesn't want that, then we're like, okay, no big deal. People will see it on the tour, but that sort of thing. So it depends, but yeah, for the most part, I don't have any direct involvement with contract brewing. It's just a part of Two Roads. So we talk about it, but we've always kind of said Evil Twin Lawsons are kind of among the most obvious, I guess.
Right.
So
exactly, and that's that's kind of where you were going with that. I mean, that from what I know, that's how they came up with the name Two Roads, right? Two Roads to.
That is correct. That is correct. Did you know that, or did I tell you?
well, you told me that years ago, but
okay. Yeah. Good memory.
Yeah,
well, the one little fact that I like to tell people about, I'm wearing the Area 2 shirt, so I can't show off the logo, but if you look at the Two Roads logo, it's actually two right arms. It's not one person going like this.
Right.
So it's actually supposed to be two different people crossing arms. So it's supposed to be two different aspects of the business, two different partners, doing that. So that's kind of a cool little Easter egg of sorts.
There you go.
The logo.
Yeah.
Definitely something to look for.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So, we always heard about that. So we talk about the Area 2. You just brought up Area 2 on your shirt. So you kind of mentioned expanding into the experimental facility, so forth and so on.
Yes.
Sours and such too with those, right?
Yes. So we were doing some sours. We were doing. We have a series called the Tanker Truck series of flavor.
That's where I was going to go.
Gozes.
You're going to go with that using the using the trucks.
Yes. So this is a brief aside, but basically the Tanker Truck series, we made a Goza, and we were kettle souring it. And as you can imagine, a brewery of our size, we're brewing pretty much 24/7 most of the time. So kettle souring usually takes a couple days, so we can't really afford to have our brew kettle sitting there, with beer in it for 3 days.
Right.
So our master brewer Phil Markowski, he came up with the idea to buy some old dairy tanker trucks and basically park them right outside the brewery. So when we make those Gozas, they get pumped out into the tanker truck and inoculated with the sour bacteria out there, and we continue brewing other stuff in the meantime in the main Two Roads facility. So that was one of the earlier sours that we did, but that's not it's not that Goza style doesn't have the danger of infection that a lot of the other like super wild ales do.
Sure.
So. So we really wanted to have a separate facility that would be safe and away from the main facility, that we could really get like funky in. So whereas Two Roads is, we could really get down. Yeah.
Get down and get funky.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And we wanted to make sure that was away, and the Two Roads main facility is in an old, over 100-year-old factory that we revitalized.
Huge
so it's
factory.
like really, yeah. It's really cool, but it's real, got that old kind of character to it. We decided to build Area 2 from the ground up. So it's brand spanking new. It's only 2 years old now, but it's brand new facility, super clean and really just impeccable. But the idea behind that was to do all sorts of super sour beers, everything you could think of, Flanders Red through Creeks, through Goose, all that stuff. And then, obviously barrel-aged stuff, barrel-aged stouts, anything you could really think of. And honestly, just like even more off-the-wall stuff, we have like high ABV seltzers. Anything. We've got like a slushy machine in there now. It's anything that could be experimental is in there. And one of the coolest parts, we're talking about Allagash before. We have a cool ship, much like Allagash does, and we've brewed on it. But of course, the way cool ship beers work, you have to wait basically years before they're ready. So the first brew is still not ready. So hopefully it's coming soon. But We do have one of, I think it's either the second or third largest cool ship in the country, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't know.
Third
It's just
largest, you're saying?
it's either second or third. I can't remember. I think second, but I could be wrong.
Behind.
I know New Glarus has a. I think they're number one. If I'm
That
not
would make sense.
wrong. Yeah.
Well, we know of at least 2 cool ships in Connecticut.
There we go.
Wait, what's the other one? I don't even know.
OEC has one.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I still have not visited OEC, which is crazy because they're so close, and I hear many good things.
You're gonna piss off our producer.
Oh no!
Yeah,
It's one of his favorite Connecticut breweries, behind Two Roads, of course.
Of course.
Behind.
Listen. Most of my trips to Connecticut are cannonball runs because I'm going to pick up, supplies and beer and stuff like
get
that.
the hell out of there and come right back. Yeah.
Yeah. So and traffic is,
Though this
Traffic's
cannonball,
nothing in Connecticut. Traffic's a breeze in
yeah,
Connecticut.
95's
please.
a breeze.
I don't know what you're talking about. Jeez.
It's always so easy.
Brian just said that's crazy. Go to OEC.
I know it's crazy, Brian. I need to take a day off to do that. It's a whole thing. I want to make sure I can spend some time there too. And I know they're very open to other people in the industry too. So,
Awesome.
Now back to the new facility. Does it have its own tap room?
Yes. So now we actually have we call it like the campus of sorts. It's so Two Roads, the main facility is there. We have this big, we call it the hop yard. It's this big outdoor area with an outdoor bar that we usually have open in the summer, and then for like concerts that we do over the summer. And then on the other side of that is Area 2, and that has its own tasting room as well. So basically, we have this whole. You can kind of go to the one facility, stop into the hop yard, and then continue to Area 2.
So it's like going to 3 breweries in one kind of thing.
Almost, yeah.
And do you have a kitchen, food trucks?
Food trucks. We actually have a kitchen built into Area 2, but it's not. It's for like pop-ups, where we'll do like a pop-up beer dinner or something like that. So we didn't want to get into the serving food game, and we have constant food trucks from the local area. Rotating through both breweries now, so it's pretty fun. It's a good time.
Has the super duper weenie truck ever gone over there?
I don't know.
No, all right. They're right in Fairfield, and
probably then.
Yeah, they're, they started with a food truck. It's the guy's name is Gary. He started with a food truck. He was actually on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives about 12 years ago. Yeah, and we go up there all the time. So.
Oh, nice.
And I always, if I don't bring beer in, he's like, dude, you're not bringing beer in? Not that he wants it, but I always bring beer in. So if I walk in there without beer, he's like, are you all right?
That's funny.
But he's good. The hot dogs are great too.
Check it out.
They're awesome. So yeah, you got to stop. You just right off exit 24 on 95 on that easy driving, non-traffic road 95.
Mm-hmm. Quick rest stop.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no Connecticut troopers on that road at all.
But
definitely not.
But he's great. No, he's got great hot dogs there, and they're all different.
That's the super duper weenie truck.
It's not just a truck. No, it's a building. He's got a building there right off of it. He started with the truck, and then he opened the building.
Oh, you asked him if he had the truck there.
No, but he has the truck.
He can't move the building there.
No, he still has the truck. He goes around to different things with the truck. He has both.
I gotcha.
It's not just a pickup truck with hot dogs in the back.
It's not just a pickup truck with hot. It's not an old El Camino with a little hibachi.
Hey, you want a hot dog?
No, but Gary's great. He makes great hot dogs, and he's got a New Englander, he's got a New Yorker, he's got a Cincinnatian.
He's got a Chicago.
He's got a Chicago. He's got a Californian. Yeah, the Cincinnatian is great. He's
got
got Cincinnati chili. So it's all
spaghetti.
the different levels. There's no spaghetti. That's the only thing that's missing.
Because that's what they do in Cincinnati. They
put spaghetti under the
spaghetti.
Chili. Starts with spaghetti, then the chili, then the onions, then the cheese, and
I haven't tried it, so I can't poo-poo it. But
I've had Cincinnati chili in Cincinnati before,
and then afterwards you poo-pooed it.
No, I actually didn't. I was shocked, actually, to be honest with you, but it was actually good. It depends on where you go, I guess. But in any event,
I'm opening my second beer.
Yeah, let's open our second beers. All right. By the way, Brian said, talking about just quick referring back to your experience, John, in Beercraft when you walked in there for Hop Slamming and didn't have it. Brian commented, it's embarrassing now, but it shows about the understanding of the industry over time.
That's true.
The learning process.
Absolutely. It totally is true. Absolutely.
It's everybody. like we were saying before, the people you talk to about what is IPA, and then who knows, 5 years from now they could be a head brewer somewhere. I mean, it's totally
It's true,
possible.
though. Absolutely. So, all right, John, what's your next one?
Actually, I was already pouring. So
all right,
go ahead.
All right, Dave, what's yours?
so
I'll throw it up because I know what it is. So.
You know what it is? It's another Pilsner. And I didn't pour it the same way as the other one because this glass has got a different shape to it, and I may lose this. So this is a Czech Pilsner from Treehouse. Yes, they actually make a Pilsner. And as I pointed out the spelling of the German Pilsner, the Czech Pilsner has only the one E.
This is true.
Because it's actually from the town of Pils, not the German. I guess the German name for Pils is Pilsen.
Pilsen, sure, absolutely.
So I've
there you
got
go. Ship shape, 4.8% Czech.
Ship shape, yep.
Very nice.
So this is actually my first taste of it. So I'm going to pull with John here.
And wait.
No, not wait. I'm going to get the obligatory
picture.
You
got to get the obligatory picture. Yes.
I'm trying to do it like this and get some of that in there. There we go. So that's for the Untapped check-in.
Nice.
So John, what do you got there?
So I had to at least go a little on brand for tonight. I wanted to start off with the Maine, but I mean, I'm mostly stocked with Two Roads, so that's what
I'm shocked
tonight.
I'm absolutely appalled. Really?
Appalled.
Shocked and appalled.
But I wanted to make sure I had a lager for tonight, since
there you go.
But so I went with one of my favorite beers that we make right now, which is Cruise Control, which is our Helles lager.
Very nice.
Really easy drinking. You got it right there, 4.8%. I don't know. I love this beer so much. A Helles lager. I don't know. Going to Germany and drinking nothing but Pilsners and I don't know. It's pretty amazing that we're. I mean, not to tout us too much, but Phil Markowski, our master brewer, is unbelievable. The fact that he's able to do everything from New England IPAs through creeks to pretty clear. Sorry, my fingerprints are on there, so you can't really see it, but
right.
Clear Helles lagers. He's the man. I cannot believe that I get to work for him. He's not only the master brewer, but he's also one of the owners of the company too, which is great.
Nice. Cool.
John and I were talking about this earlier, and it came from something that was on the show with Sean Lapolito.
Yep.
And he was talking about brewing IPAs. And he said, brewing an IPA is easy. It takes literally 2 weeks to get it out to market. You can hide all the flaws in your beer with the hops. It's not a difficult thing. If you want to impress me, brew a nice Pilsner, a nice lager, because these beers are going to show every flaw in your system, in your process, in your
brewing
skill
capabilities
level.
and your skills. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And and finding a great Pilsner, a great lager, that's a treat.
It is.
I 100% agree with that, and I don't ever think of myself as a beer snob of any sort.
Oh, we're beer snobs. We will claim beer snobbery.
Well,
Hey, you started in the business taking pictures of beer, so okay,
True.
No,
there's a small amount of cred.
And your first IPA was Hop Slam, so
yeah, exactly. Where do you go from there? I mean, seriously.
Start at the top.
Exactly.
But I will say, whenever I go to a new brewery, I definitely scan the menu and look for something like this, like any sort of lager or Kolsch lager, any light style, because of what you just said, because that really shows the quality.
I'm the same way. I go to a new brewery that I haven't been to before, so I'm not, unless somebody's told me you have to get this or you have to get that. If I go to a new brewery that I haven't been to before, it's Pilsner, it's a Kolsch, it's a lager.
But there's a couple of reasons for that. One, if they do have some IPAs or big stouts, you don't want to destroy your palate first.
Of course,
that's true.
Right, so you drink these first, keep the palate kind of fresh, and the other reason, and John and I were talking about this earlier as well today, and it's a term that came up in my head that I use is, you said when you go to a bar. So let's assume you're driving to the bar, driving to a brewery, because John and I were in Maine, we were in cars, and so the term in my head is, I like to save my ABV, right? Sure. So you find these lower ABVs. And you're going to save that. So if you're going to hit a big ABV one, you want to save it for something really special. I'm not going to go to a brewery for the first time and just dive right into their 11%, pastry stout. I want to see what their skill is first. I'm going to hit one of those lower ABV if they've got a lager. If they've got skill there, then maybe I'll hit that 11%. Have a whole lot of water as well.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully they got some
It's all about
snacks
the water.
there.
I have at least one big glass of water with every beer I'm drinking at every brewery. So it's the only way to do it.
And John sits at the end of every show, drink responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of that, and being able to find a Pilsner or lager on tap, does that, and also tells you their skill level. So maybe you waste some of that ABV, or not waste, you spend that ABV wisely.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to open my second beer. Well, third
How many
beer,
have you had?
Third beer of the day, second beer on the show. How's it?
There we go.
There you go. And I'm gonna join you guys. I'm having a lager as well.
Whoa!
Look at that.
What did Brian just say?
Brian, actually, I'll throw that up really quick. Brian said, "This many lagers have never been enjoyed before."
And it's not that we didn't enjoy any previous lagers. It's just
we rarely drank lagers on the lager rooms.
And Brian, we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. Exactly. And he also said, "You go to new breweries, Johnny?"
John and I did the count of the new breweries that we hit on our on our trips, and what I came up with 9 new breweries on mine.
You had 9 new breweries
You
out
had
of
5.
20. You had 9 new breweries out of 28. I had 5 out of 21.
Yep.
So there you go.
Wait, what's the out of? What does that mean?
I went to 21 different breweries on this trip we were on.
Gotcha.
5 of them were new to me. The rest.
And actually, remembered, I went to 29 breweries.
29 breweries. 9 of them.
9 were new to me.
Yeah. Man. So I had visited 16 breweries that I had been to before. He visited 20 breweries he had been to before.
And just to remind you, you haven't been to Two Roads yet.
I have been to Two Roads.
No, he's talking to me.
Yeah,
right?
that was.
He's talking. It was directed completely at me.
Been to Two Roads?
I have not been to Two Roads yet. I have driven back and forth past Two Roads probably about 75 times, but I've never stopped
Being chased
in
by
Stratford.
cops.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Chased. Yeah, because you move so fast on 95 right past Stratford. So.
That's why we're a good rest stop.
Exactly. I'm drinking. My second beer is going to be Dow's Folly from Four River Brewing in Portland. It's a pre-prohibition lager. Here, I'll throw it up on the screen there, and I'm wearing the obligatory Four River T-shirt.
That was a neat place, and that's a good beer.
Yeah, you had to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was you told me go there, get that beer. That was my favorite beer there.
Yeah, it was. Definitely. I've been there before. Obviously, I did not buy this shirt on this trip. I had gotten it 4 years or so ago.
FORE years ago.
FORE years ago. Very good. Very good. I see what you did there. All right, there we go.
So you got your picture?
I got my picture, and here is. And unfortunately, I have to drink this out of an Ohio. Well, we talked about Cincinnati, right? We talked about Cincinnati chili, so this is a Cincinnati brewery. So right,
there you go.
Ryan Geist glass.
Ryan Geist.
So cheers, guys.
Oh, there's someone else out there drinking lagers.
That beer's really good. It really is.
I don't know if you caught that, Johnny, but someone else is drinking lagers out there.
Who else is up? Tony Drury is. I'm drinking lagers. Cheers, guys. Alacran.
Look at this.
Cheers, Tony.
Cheers, Tony. Look at his crazy ass. Man, that is almost like a Dali painting.
That avatar, yeah, really.
Is that a super crazy. Soaker?
Yeah, that's a super
soaker.
and there's Alacron's pale ass legs.
There you go. Alacran means scorpion, right?
It means scorpion. It's funny because there's two. Escorpion is apparently one version, and then Alacran is another in Spanish. And I don't know the difference why you would use Alacran over Escorpion.
Well, he didn't use it. He was called it by.
No, he's called that.
Mexicans,
I'm not saying him. I don't know why anybody would use one.
People
over
in
the
Mexico
other.
have called him Alacran. So
yes,
that's why he dubbed that his name.
It's a great story as to why, but we won't get into that.
We won't get into it. Go watch the Tony Drury show. It's several weeks ago. I think it was episode 43, I think. But in any event, and Brian just said at me, "That's crazy. Go to Two Roads."
That is crazy. And if you go to Two Roads, and I told you, go to Gaetano's first. Get a sandwich.
Get a sandwich, yeah.
Bring it there.
Well, if knowing me, I'll get 2 sandwiches at Gaetano's. I'll eat one when I get there, have a couple beers, and then eat the second one. But that's smart.
And the stuffed peppers are so good too.
You're killing me. You're killing me. Both of you are killing me. All right,
the prosciutto and the green peppers and the vinegar. Oh, it's so good.
Shut up. I'm muting you. Anyway, all right. What's coming up? What's coming out? I know what's coming out. Obviously, it's August. So what else is coming out? Right?
You're coming out, Johnny?
There's no, not yet. I'm still holding on. No. Anyway, whatchamacallit? I know there's 2 things on the horizon for Two Roads, right? One has a 2 in it, and one has a baby in it, right?
That is true.
Yeah,
It's that time of year. It's pumpkin and Oktoberfest season. So we've got Oktoberfest, which is our Martin, or if you want to be, what is it, Märzen? If you're really
Märzen.
Yeah, I would try not to use
or
that
Marzen if you just
Marzen.
Yeah,
it's got the 2 dots over the A, so that changes everything.
Yeah.
Märzen.
Umlaut, is that an umlaut?
Umlauts.
But yeah, that's coming very soon. And then Rosemary's Baby is our rum barrel aged pumpkin ale, and it's I know some people cringe at pumpkins. I'm honestly, there's one.
But there are a few you enjoy, so you don't cringe.
Yeah, there are a few, and you know what? If it wasn't packed away in a box somewhere, I would be wearing my Rosemary Baby shirt.
Ah, nice.
I do have one. One in a actually a scavenger hunt run by Gene Lynch's wife.
Okay. I provided that. Yeah. I remember dropping those off. Yeah. We were connected. We didn't even know.
I got the grand prize in that one.
So that's awesome.
So thank you for all that swag, and shout out to Lauren.
Shout out to Lauren Swearing. Very good. Thank you very much for the hopped up scavenger hunt, hopped up beer crawl, or whatever they do. Yeah, exactly. Really quick note: Tony Drury that we just talked about, Alacran and Escorpion, right? Tony's apparently small because Escorpion es grande, Alacran es pequeño. Pequeño.
Or so I've been told.
And he said, or so I've been told.
Not commenting there either.
Sorry, Tony.
He
said, ha, ha, ha. But he spelled it. He spelled it with J's. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah.
And hopefully the nickname was given to you by the men in Mexico, not the women in Mexico.
Not the women, exactly. And Brian's got an Igor's Dream shirt, too. He said.
Hell yeah.
And he gave you the finger.
Deserved. I'll accept that.
Absolutely. So you got Rosemary's Baby. You're talking about pumpkin ales, though, really quick. And I know this is a Two Roads shirt. Two Roads show. Oh, I'm reading Brian's shirt thing as I said that. Whatchamacallit? We were up at night shift because we were in Boston from Friday to Monday. We stopped at night shift on Sunday, and they released their pumpkin on Sunday. They've just released, or maybe I think they released it on Friday or whatever. Pumpkin pie scraper, they called it. And I hadn't had it before or whatever, so I'm like, all right, you know what? I got to do it. So I had a pour of it. It was really good.
Nice.
It definitely jumped right up. I got my top ones. I got my top 5 that I'll drink. This was good. This was pretty good.
Was it high ABV?
Well, it's what was it? I gotta look. Talk amongst yourselves. But in any event, by the way,
so what's your favorite sandwich from Gaetano's, John?
What's my favorite? My favorite sandwich?
No, I said John. No, John Kleinchester.
We're both Johns. See.
You're Johnny. Today you're Johnny.
Today I'm Johnny. Right.
This one time we had 3 Johns on the show.
I know. It was horrible. We did actually.
Ooh. It's not a common name though. That's surprising.
Not at all.
Not at all.
It's like Estrelitis.
I think, what did I get when I was there? I think I got the prosciutto mutz and roasted red peppers.
I'm trying to think. The gobbler. It's like a Thanksgiving sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible because we usually, like I said, get it during like our sales meetings, And that sandwich, it's so good, but I'm gonna fall asleep eating this like Thanksgiving sandwich for lunch in the middle of the day.
Full of tryptophan.
Yeah.
Which was 6.3%, by the way. And Tony Drury just heard this pumpkin conversation and said he unsubscribes. We don't drink them on a regular basis, Tony. It's just, in season, I'll have one or two of the ones that I actually do prefer, but that's pretty much it. And most of them are on the show too, by the way. So
yeah, I may have one. I think you forced me to drink one last October.
I didn't force you to drink anything.
Yeah,
you drank
did.
It on your own. So.
I did not.
Yes, because I forced you all the way from New Jersey when you were still in Rhode Island to drink a pumpkin.
Probably still doing the shows from the roof at that time, right?
I think you were actually. Yeah,
because I was too cheap to install Wi-Fi in the apartment.
Exactly. So anyway, what else is on the what's on the foreseeable future for Two Roads?
A lot. We have a lot of stuff coming. We have some stuff from Area 2 that I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
That information is on a need-to-know basis, and at this moment,
correct.
Nobody needs to know.
But we need to know once we go off the air.
You'll tell us.
Yes, 100%. Totally spill the beans. One thing I should mention, and I know we're a beer show, but we actually did just release it. So let me take a step back. We have our distiller license now.
You do.
And
John just
awesome.
woke up.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you making gin?
All right.
You're making gin. That's one way to get him.
I'll be there.
I'll
help pick the botanicals. So.
Well, then you'll actually come by. Great. I mean, a lot of people are doing this, so it's not like earth shattering or anything. But we did get into the RTD game, the ready to drink canned cocktail game,
right?
With a entry called Daybreaker, and I feel like it's. We want to make sure we're not just doing something to do it. We kind of make sure there's some craft angle to it. So when we got into seltzer, we made our H2 Road seltzer with real fruit. A lot of breweries can't really do that so much, or whatever. There's certain things that are involved with that where you might have an exploding
can. It's quicker
can.
to use other things too.
Right. Correct. Yeah, and like the main ones, the White Claws and the Trulies are chemicals essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Additives, but anyway, so
that's not real fruit.
Chemicals are not real fruit. Say it ain't so.
Have you had a Jolly Rancher recently?
The drink, not
come on, that's real watermelon
for sure.
They reduce it down in a pan and they freeze it, right? And it stays in that.
They just want a really big enough pan to put that whole watermelon in.
Love it. But yeah, so anyway, I'll shut up about RTDs because it's a beer show. But
no, it's fine.
No.
Go for it. No,
okay.
Beyond the canned cocktails, and then they're your.
So we just wanted about having a distiller on the show. So
yeah, we're probably gonna have a couple distilleries on the show. So
awesome.
We can talk.
That's great. Absolutely. I mean, we're just getting that going. So we have the license, and we are making they're vodka cocktail cans with real fruit juice. And they're pretty damn awesome. I should have totally sent you guys some cans, and I suck, and I didn't do that. But I'll make sure we get you some. But it's honestly like there's a blood orange. One of the three flavors is blood orange, and it's like a mimosa but better. It's so good.
Yeah, like a mimosa but better.
But probably not as sweet, right? Because it's a blood orange.
Right. Yeah. And it's, I don't know. I just, obviously when I started with Two Roads, I never thought about selling spirits at all. So to have these as another just thing in our arsenal is awesome. And the fact that they're actually really good, I'm pretty pumped about them. That's why I wanted to mention.
John, we have had a distiller on the show.
Oh.
We have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jesse,
yeah. Jesse distills too.
Jesse Ferguson?
Yeah.
Yep. Ah, yeah.
Inneborough distills. He distills. He's got gin. He does gin. He does canned gin cocktails.
And
I've had a few of those, and they're great.
They're really good. His gin and tonic. His hibiscus gin and tonic's really good too.
And we had a lengthy discussion about the whiskey.
And his whiskey. Yeah, he just came out with whiskey. He just released it last month, I think. They just had. Yeah, he's been sitting on it since not too long after they opened, and they finally released it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting. So,
and
about the fact that he broke his
He didn't break the thief.
The thief, yeah.
The man who will go unmentioned broke the thief.
We can't say his name. We refuse to say his name on the show.
That's the one we cannot say thrice on the show.
But in any event,
was visiting him after a while, and
well, we'll say we'll mention his name in 4 weeks. That's all we can say about it.
Yes.
Anyway, but that's cool. That's awesome. And the fact that you're not splitting it up. It's not like they're having another division. You're handling. You guys are the crew out there and everything else. You're handling everything.
That makes sense.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah,
it's
other
breweries
world,
in the past who shall remain nameless have actually split divisions up and stuff like that, and they've that's whatever. But it is what it is. We're back to that. Is what it is.
It is what it is.
What it is. So beyond that, more beer wise or
there we go. That's what we should do. We should go up do a collab, and it'll be called "It Is What It Is."
It is what it is.
If that name's not taken already, it's going to be now.
But can it be taken though? I mean, because there are names there are beer names out there that more than one brewery has. I mean, you can't copyright a beer name. I mean, it's just bad form. You can obviously cease and desist somebody depending on who's brewing it. Obviously, if you decided to brew 60-minute IPA, I think you would probably have a cease and desist.
That'd be a problem. Cloudwater Brewing Company has brewed one. Named that, and that's all I see. There's a lot of variants on it. I don't know what it is because life is the future isn't no.
Those are very depressed guys coming up with beer names.
It is what it is. Only Cloudwater has done that.
All right, it is what it is. So we'll just call it Dave. Here you go. See, Brian was actually looking, but he said Dave beat me to it. So you gotta let Brian do his job. That's what he makes the money for.
But he hasn't been with us. What, it's been like 3-4 shows?
3 or 4 shows, but he's been busy. He's on tonight, the whole show. So I mean,
I've got to get used to him being back on the show.
And we don't have Matt tonight, and we won't have Matt next week because he's in Denver. So
is he scuba diving in Denver?
He's not scuba diving in Denver.
He might be thinking he's scuba diving in Denver.
Yeah. No, he's got a wedding and then some beer to drink. He'll be back next week. So.
And he's got some other stuff to do related to cigars.
Exactly.
Sort of.
But we'll leave that alone, please. Right. I might smoke that later. I'm not going to dip it first. But in any event.
You got 5 bottles behind you can dip it in.
I've got 5 bottles behind me I can dip it in. One of them is a brand new bottle that I haven't opened yet of Widow Jane bourbon.
It's not brand new. You've said it's brand new on 3 shows.
Well,
now.
It's brand new because I haven't opened it yet. That's why it's brand new. So
I see.
I've been sitting on it for a little over 2 years. So
it's not going to hatch, John.
I know. But it's anyway, so comfortable.
Back to the beer coming out of Two Roads.
2 Roads coming out with beer. Go.
So we went on a tangent.
Wait. Yeah. We go on tangents on this show? What are you talking about?
Never.
Well, I mean, we've got a ton of stuff coming, but the first thing that comes to mind is our. So I mentioned the tanker truck series, the Goza line before. So we do passion fruit and a Persian lime Goza year round now.
Passion fruit and Persian lime.
Passion fruit and Persian lime. That actually sounds really good.
It does.
Sorry, so those 2 different passion fruit Goza and Persian lime Goza, not together. You're welcome to blend them if you.
I'm totally going to blend them.
Yeah, I got to blend that now.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
now because it is what it is.
No. See, that's what we're brewing. The collab, it is what it is a passion fruit Persian lime Goza.
There we go.
See, I'd like to transfer that over to Area 2 and make it tequila barrel aged if possible.
Done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
See what happens here. See what this is.
We'll be up there in a few weeks.
You let us know. We'll be up. We'll bring some beer to drink while we're brewing it. We're good to go.
Have them look at their brewing schedule and sneak us in there.
There you go.
I'll find a slot.
There we
Absolutely. All right. Just not like not the coveted 3 a.m. slot. We don't want to do that.
He's holding back so strong.
Yeah. Oh God. I was going to say no. I'm not going to leave that alone.
I knew you were. All right. Should I pull this up again?
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Why don't we get to our top?
When it's not going to play on the audio podcast.
Exactly. It's not going to. Folks, I'm holding up a cigar.
There
That's
we
what
go.
I'm holding up.
Now there's a
Okay.
way to transfer that.
Audio
There
description.
you go. Exactly.
You need a voiceover.
All right. There you go. Anyway, all right. Why don't we do our top threes?
Oh, yeah. Can
Before
I
we get to our
third?
top threes, 1 second.
I was just going to say.
Brian just posted. He goes, Freeze has an interesting beer name. Are we there yet, or did we even start, or did it end a long time ago? And where is there, and does it yet assume a linear progression of time? And was it so bad about here? And what was so bad about here anyway?
They fit that on a can?
Apparently, it's a tall boy. Right? So, anyway, you're opening a third beer for your top threes?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
As well.
I'm still, since I opened mine, like my second one way after you, I'll keep drinking this one for now. What's yours?
I thought you were going to pretend to drink a third.
I'll pretend. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
What's your third one there, Samurai?
I had to go back to these guys. And this is one to make John jealous because it's his favorite style.
I hate you.
Mm-hmm. This is the black lager called Oblivion. This is...
Wait, is it called Oblivion or is it called Oblivion?
Should be UH Oblivion.
There you go.
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
This is so roasty, toasty, chocolatey, yummy, delicious. This is right in John's wheelhouse.
Schwartz beers are one of my favorites. So
And I may or may not save a can for John.
thanks.
It's a very popular style.
Yeah.
Because it's such
I can drink Schwartz beers all day. I think I had one on, or actually we went to order one on Thursday night. We were both going to order one on Thursday night, and they ran out of it.
Yeah, that was at Navarre Res.
Navarre Res, yeah.
Yeah,
I love that place.
So anyway, what do you?
Yeah, they were out of almost everything we tried to order initially. My first 3 beers I asked for, they were out of.
Well, that's a good sign, right? Because they were good beers, so we were picking the right things. They ran out of them. So.
Good taste.
Exactly.
Did wind up with a Flemish red though.
You did. You did. Yeah, I had a couple of German styles. They were good. Really tasty. Anyway, John,
what'd you pour?
You pouring your third one, or?
Yeah, I did. So I went with one of our newer limited beers. This is Tubular. It's a West Coast.
Bueller.
Of course.
Hey.
We got to jam 2s in wherever we can.
Totally.
Well, then let me fix this. Hold on 1 second. I need to add.
What?
Hold on.
He
Oh,
spelled
you had
it
it.
wrong.
Two.
I did. I did.
How dare you not assume our TWO?
I'm an idiot.
And I love that you got the like the Vanagon on there.
Yep.
You
There
sneak
we go. Is that better?
you guys sneak the Vanagon in there every now and then, don't you?
Yeah,
It's a part of our thing. We actually have an old VW bus. I think it's 19.
Oh, that's right. It would be the VW bus, not the Vanagon. The Vanagon came later.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, it's VW bus. Yeah, I don't even know what's Vanagon. I don't even know.
They kind of they squared it off a little bit and updated it. It became the Vanagon.
It's the newer version of what.
Well, the newer version, a la 80.
It's still 35
Right.
years old, 40 years old, but
yeah,
it's newer. It's newer than that one. So
Yeah, we have. You might have seen it when you were there. John definitely
didn't. No,
I didn't see it. No.
I did see it when I was there.
I didn't see
yeah, it's an old 60s VW.
That's gonna be
bus
my
that
new.
we-
That's gonna be my new hashtag. Jersey Johnny. I have not been to Two Roads.
Stop giving me crap about it. The whole Facebook thing. Stop sending me this shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think actually one of my favorite things that was in the swag that I won on that scavenger hunt. One of the Two Road stickers was the VW bus, and I have not stuck that to anything because I only have one of them.
There you go. Oh, it was a sticker. It wasn't a magnet. I got you.
Yeah, sticker.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're making those, at least not right this second. So that might be a valuable
Collector's
piece
item.
of your history. Yeah.
Yeah. To hold on to that, and of course that's probably in a box somewhere.
There you go.
So many things in boxes.
All right. So why don't we do our top three?
Including cigars.
Okay. Let's light our cigars and do our top three.
We're just not letting this go, are we?
All right. Well, are you gonna dip yours first?
You want me to dip mine first? You
I
can
do
dip
not
yours
want.
first?
You're alone there. I do not want you to dip yours first. So,
At least mute your mic first.
Joe Granat just weighed in. He says, "Hey, I know that guy." There you go.
I know that guy.
There you go. Yeah.
Do you?
That's a good.
How do-
That's
how
a
do you
good guy
know-
right there.
How do you know Joe?
How do you know Joe? Well, it's the beer industry, right? Everybody knows each other. So
Yeah, pretty much. I will say that being in the role that I'm
through
in
the
now,
same
I'm
distributor. So
true. But like the role I'm in now, I'm not out on the street as much anymore. More behind the desk, which I try to get out there, but so I don't know as many. I feel like I'm a little bit more removed lately. But I saw Joe recently, and we got to have a beer or two, and one of my favorite people in the industry, and it's that's hopefully he takes that as high praise because there's a lot of really awesome people. So cheers,
there
Joe.
are a lot of awesome.
Cheers.
Actually, yeah.
Cheers,
to
Joe.
Joe. Joe's been on the show. Cheers.
And
to Joe.
he's one of our favorite people until he
Absolutely.
begs us and coerces us into stopping in barreled souls when we really just want to try.
Yeah.
Not that we don't mind. He is such a barreled souls whore.
He loves barreled souls. Dave has stopped and got him barreled souls. I have barreled souls for him here. So, yeah.
And the thing is, I have never met Joe face to face.
It's impressive.
I know Joe well, so look at that. But no, I stopped. And Joe says I'm blushing. There you go. Anyway, but on that note, though, you're talking about beer. You're talking about meeting beer people and having some beers and everything else. One of the things in Jersey, anyway, is one of the bigger places to meet up with a lot of beer people at the same time. Always has been for many years now. Was the AC Beer Fest, right? Always has been. So, and I just want to prove one point to people that bust my chops about taking pictures with my mouth open all the time. Okay?
I would be one of those people.
I am not the only one that takes a picture with their mouth open. Okay. So I just
you coerced him into doing it, didn't you?
Yeah, right before this, you said, "Make sure your mouth's open." And I will give you $10, and you gave me $10. Where
Folks
was that?
listening?
I don't remember.
That was at Vagabond before the AC Beer Fest, like probably 4 some years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
yeah,
anyway,
I thought that
those-
was something 40 pounds later.
But John, I thought that was something that Jess started.
She did.
Yeah.
She definitely started it. But that was about 4 beers in at Vagabond prior to the Friday night session. So we would just set up and everything, and we had.
Oh, so you're not
Always a
quite
smart move.
obliterated yet.
No, not quite. Not quite.
You haven't quite hit oblivion.
Not quite oblivion, yeah. Or I didn't meet any Bolivians either. So anyway, but and in any event, yeah. So that was that. I just wanted to put that. I was actually going to use that as the picture for that's the one I used. I grabbed that off of your off of your Facebook.
How long ago was that?
That was. Well, I don't even know. I don't know. Wow, I look terrible in that photo. Thanks, John.
No worries. Anyway, well, what would have been better, that one or if I put that one up?
That's my favorite. I feel like it must have been a skinny period somehow. I don't know.
Actually,
I
after seeing the splash screen that John used, and then when you came online, like, wow, he's much better looking than John used.
It's lowering expectations to start.
There
I
you
like
go.
that.
There you go. Just build it up.
There you go. Brian said, everyone that takes a picture with their mouth open when taking a picture with John. So
I'll go back to the picture of us together.
The picture of us together. Yeah, Brian. What are you talking about? Exactly. This is...
You'll never see me do it.
Really? I don't think either of us have our mouths open there. Well, my mind's kind of open because I'm smiling, but that's... Other than that,
I'm grimacing, apparently.
You're like, all right, wait, there's beer to drink across the street. Do we really have to take this damn picture right now?
That was actually, it's hot out. I'm sweaty. The sun is in my eyes. Just take this damn picture.
Right.
John's not as bad because he's got the brim on the hat to cover
Exactly.
the sun out of his eyes a little bit.
Exactly.
Oh, God, it was brutal hot and humid up there.
And Gene just said, how many hours does this podcast run? So, until we're done, Gene. Until we're done. All right.
Gene's about Gene's what? He's probably only 4 beers in right now.
I'm sure he's at least at most that. So, well, it's 8:15, maybe.
Time
5.
for one more.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Exactly,
Mason's 2 beers in.
Mm-hmm. Oreo's 1 beer in.
That would be the bulldog and the cat.
Bulldog and a cat, exactly. All right, let's do our top threes.
Oh yes, we have those.
We do our top threes. Here we go. All right, tonight's top 3 list. The reason we do top threes, and we say this every show, is because the top 10 list would take too long. Right. Yeah. And it's 3 because we pay homage to 1933, repeal Prohibition. So it's 3s. There we go. So top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite Maine breweries. And we made a little caveat after we posted the show. Top 3 favorite Maine breweries not named Allagash.
Because that would be on everyone's list.
Because that would be on
we
list,
do not make the guests adhere to our caveats.
No, absolutely. So if John, if one of your top 3 is Allagash, by all means have at it. But Allagash would be on mine and Dave's, and we're leaving it off to do another 3. So
yeah, because let's face it, when it comes to great craft beer coming out of Maine, they were the OGs.
Sure, absolutely.
Amazing.
It's so good. So,
agreed.
And I'm sure it has a little bit to do with the water. Just
possibly. They would explain why there's so much great beer in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont.
You would think.
You would think.
So anyway, so let's let our guest of honor tonight start it off. Johnny, let us know what your top 3 favorite Maine breweries are.
So I will not include Allagash, but I will say this about Allagash. Those guys and gals and everybody involved with Allagash, I think when we don't get this question a lot, but when we are asked, I think most people at Two Roads, like, who do you strive to be like? Allagash is the first one that comes to mind.
Cool.
Not that, it's definitely different because they're a lot more Belgian and all that stuff, but just their way of doing things, their passion. I've been treated so nicely there when I've been there. Sure. So I'm saying I'm not Allagash, but I'm also saying that they're great. So I'm skipping right over that.
No one's going to argue.
But they're great.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
I concur. I feel the same way. So
yeah. So
Dave and I were taking
the ones
care
that
of
I will
there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're fantastic. They're just amazing. And I think the more that Two Roads can be like them in every way, it's good. And so
they've got a good business model. They've got a good business model.
It's awesome. Yeah, they're great. They're great up there.
Good people, good beer. Yep. But my actual top 3 is okay. So I don't know if I can order these. That's the biggest issue that I've had.
You don't have to order them.
No need to.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go out of order here. Just my favorite 3, and I think we talked about this before the show, but I will caveat this with my time in Maine is mostly spent floating on a pond,
on
a lake,
which is what we call a lake in New Jersey.
Lake pond in Maine, lake.
Yeah,
in New
right.
Jersey.
Right. So I've
in Rhode Island,
huge bodies of water they call ponds.
I know it's crazy.
In Jersey, you could probably skip a stone straight across a pond.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a pond down the street here. It's fine.
There's a pond in my neighbor's backyard. I don't think you were floating in that. So.
Right.
Yeah. When it rains too hard, a lot of our streets have ponds.
Right. Yeah.
Right. They're natural Jersey ponds.
Exactly.
Great fresh water too.
So like, yeah, right. Drink right out of it. So I can't say that I'm completely. You guys will probably name name breweries that I don't know, honestly. So I hope you do, because I need to visit more. So most of my trips are on a rainy day or something. But the 3 that come to mind. I don't know. Have you ever heard of this brewery called Bissell Brothers? I've never. I think
never heard of it.
I think I don't know. I don't know anything about
it. How's that spelled? Like the vacuum? I mean, the vacuum company. They have.
Yeah, they're in a. Are they in?
The logo is like.
What is this Bissell Brothers
I don't know.
you speak of?
I don't know. There might be an empty can right near you.
Oh, whoops.
There they are.
Yeah, all right.
No, they've been great, and I was able to. Oh, I meant to say this before. The Maine brew bus. I don't know if you guys have either done that before.
I haven't done it, but it's cool.
It nearly ran me over on this trip.
It was definitely an accident. Those guys are great.
I expected it to be bigger. Right?
It's a short bus. Yeah.
Bigger. No, it's a short bus. It's a short
bus. I really expected that bus to be
for
bigger.
The special people. So.
Yes, they give you a helmet on the way in.
Right, exactly.
Don't lift the windows.
Right. So.
But those guys behind that are fantastic, and I've
Yeah.
got to hang out with them a couple times and
Right.
actually take the main brew bus. And so anyway, my point was, when I went with them once, we got to go to the Bissell, the original Bissell location, and those
Which
guys
is
are so
over
nice
by
then. And
Industrial Way, right?
which is by Allagash.
across from Allagash. Yeah. And that was like
Every
at the time,
brewery starts out. It's like a main thing. You have to start out across from Allagash, and then you expand and go somewhere else.
Yeah, Austin Street was the latest that moved over.
Maine was there too, but Maine Brewing was there before they went to Freeport. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the proving
anyway,
ground.
It's the proving ground. Industrial Way.
If you can survive being in the shadow of Allagash,
right,
you can survive anywhere.
Exactly.
That is true.
Gene said, "Is that a
is
vacuum factory?" Make good beer at this vacuum place. They really do.
Very good beer.
Exactly. So
Love
anyway.
it. Yeah, so definitely Bissell.
Bissell.
Although, yeah, I mean, they're it's crazy. Like that, I only was able to get to 2 breweries on this past trip. They were one of them. They were slammed. I mean, it was a Saturday, of course, or no, it was a Friday, I think. But anyway, it would,
they're usually slammed no matter what day it is. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't so
So
bad
we
on
just-
the Thursday we went. So
Yeah. We were there on Wednesday, and
Okay.
it wasn't too bad. But we were there like maybe an hour after they opened too. So I mean,
yeah,
That's the
same.
move. Yeah, we were too late.
hmm.
Yeah. But just pop in, get some beers, and head out. It's fine.
Yeah.
So that's not number one, but one of. Oxbow. Was able to stop in there again.
The brewery or the blendery in town?
I don't know,
Portland?
wherever I was.
In
You
Portland?
don't remember where I was? Yes.
In Portland, you were at the Blendery then.
The Blendery. Yes, it is the
Right.
Blendery. That is
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
And if
you
you're
I forgot that was.
You've
did you
got
get
to
some
get
duck
the
fat fries
poutine.
next door?
The
The
poutine.
poutine.
Yes, we absolutely got the
Of course.
poutine. Yep.
Right.
Duck fat.
Poor John, when he was there, they were out of eggs.
They were
so
out of
he could
eggs.
not- he could not get an egg on his.
I didn't.
I was there the very next day.
It was
and
still ridiculously delicious, mind you.
but when you put the
But I
egg
missed
on
the
there,
so-
boom, it's
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah, it was good.
Next level. Yeah, that place is fantastic. It's been nice to see like how they've expanded, and the duck fat,
Oh, sure.
whatever you want to call it, shack is
Right.
awesome.
Duck fat,
That's
duck fat,
amazing.
duck fat,
Frit shack.
Frit shack, yeah.
Freet shack.
That's it, right?
I said Frit shack. I
Right.
said that.
You said frit.
I said Frit. No, it was Frit. I said
Rewind. Freet. Freak. It's not a freak
the duck
shack.
fat friggin' shack.
Friggin'
And then my last one is haven't been there now. We didn't get a chance to stop in this past time, but I really enjoyed it last time, and I'd be curious to see if either of you have stopped in. But Nonsuch
I've not been to none.
in
I've not been
Scarborough.
either. Yep.
So that
Know where it
one's a
is, I
little
haven't
closer
been
to the cabin.
Yeah, 'cause
that we,
that's further
rent.
inland than I usually go.
Yeah.
That's fair, and that's why we were able to go to it. And it's actually a restaurant as well, and the food was really, really good, and the beers were good. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there and see if anybody had tried it. But again, it's been now probably 3 years since I've been there, so hopefully it's still really good.
There you go. Well,
Probably
anybody
is.
listening, if you have been to Nonsuch, let us know how John hasn't been there in 3 years. Dave and I have not been there. Let us know how it is right now. I can imagine it's at least as good as it was when John was there, if not better. And let's hope that they survived the last year and a half too, and they're open back up again like everybody else, and on from there.
I
So,
believe they are.
all right.
You want next, Johnny, or
I'll go next if you want. That's fine.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll have at it. All right.
I'll let you steal one of my thunders.
I'll steal one of your thunders. It doesn't matter because it's my.
We talk ahead of time and we know what each other's three are,
Exactly.
and we do share one on this.
We do share one, yeah. I will obviously we said not named Allagash for a reason, obviously, so we're going there. And I will give a shout out to Oxbow too with what John
gotta.
said.
You
You
got
have
to.
to give a shout out. I mean, it's ridiculous if you don't, But mine are in no particular order. These are in no particular order. I'm not giving them all.
Which is
1, 2,
rare
or
for
3.
us. This is going to be rare because usually at least somebody is going to go in order.
Mhm.
None of us are going to go in order this time.
These are
'cause
not.
there's
I'm
no
not.
point.
One's not better than another. These are just my
Nope.
top 3. Here we go. I'm going to give a shout out to a brand new brewery. I haven't been open that long. Bellflower. Bellflower's right in town, right in Portland. It's kind of centrally located between Rising Tide and Austin Street, which are together.
No, Austin Street. No, it's between
Rising Tide
them-
and Austin
Oh,
Street.
and that street and
Rising Tide and Austin Street.
Or in one building.
Are in one building. And then up the other end are Lone Pine and Goodfire.
Right.
Kind of in the middle of the two, because you can walk to all five, is Bellflower. And it's the owner is a former brewer at Trillium, and right out of the gate, they're brewing ridiculously good beer.
And so Bellflower was the last brewery we visited on the 13th, the 9th. So I was so exhausted at that point, so bloated and full that I couldn't really enjoy, but I brought back a bottle.
I told him to go there first after we split up. After we left for the
Well, we went to Oxbow after. No, we went to Mass Landing because you also told me to go get the BLT at Mass Landing.
Was I right?
You were damn right.
That BLT was ridiculous.
That is a really good BLT. And then we went to Oxbow and got poutine on top of that, so you can understand why I was full.
Of course. No, I get it.
Then we took a nap. Took an hour nap, then wandered off down there.
Yeah. Because you can walk from all those from where you
and
were.
And our Airbnb that we had, if you came out of Oxbow, made a left, went cut through the 7-Eleven right there, and then continued to the left, we're the second house up.
There you go. So you were right there.
So we were in crawling distance.
That's why you should have went there, last. But anyway, so Bellflower is, and talk to the guys there, and hopefully soon we're actually going to get them on the show too.
And that's why I'm holding on to the IPA that I bought from there, because I got a bottle and an IPA because I wanted to give them a fair chance, because I don't think I couldn't taste anything at that point.
You were yeah, it wasn't working for you at that point. So, but these guys, the beers I had, and I had several while I was there. Actually, I had probably 6 of them while I was there, but
several.
They were spot on. They were so good. They were just kudos to them, and hopefully they come on the show soon, and we'll pay them the proper homage. But
that way, my beer hasn't faded by then.
There you go. So Bellflower Brewing in Portland. Another one, and again, these are not in any particular order. Definitive. Definitive was the second brewery that Dave and I had hit actually on Friday. They're just brewing, and they're the styles they definitely ranged. I mean, obviously they're doing great New England IPAs. They were
sours. They were kind of heavy on the milkshakes this time.
Heavy on the milkshakes, but didn't get a bunch of them. I had one, I think.
Yeah. Well, I hit both locations.
You did. You only
hit the one. I hit the Kittery.
Yeah. But yeah, they're brewing great beer over there. Another brewery over by Allagash that's killing it. But now they did something different though, because the building that Bissell started in, that Maine started in, that Austin Street started in, that's still there. Battery's still there. Foundation's still there.
Battery Steel, though, used to only have the back side.
Now they have the whole side.
Now they've got right across.
Exactly.
They've got the front side, and they're all the way across.
Right. But but Definitive opened an entirely different building. Mm-hmm. So that's something new for them over there. So,
and rather than relocating when they got bigger, they just opened up another location.
Right. Exactly. Case in point. And my third, and again in no particular order, 1, 2, or 3, it doesn't matter. Bunker Brewing, all three in Portland. And Dave will tell you something when he goes. I'll let him speak it. But Bunker Brewing is just brewing ridiculously good beer. We mentioned Jesse before from Interborough. Jesse and Interborough are like almost on a somewhat regular basis brewing collabs with Bunker Brewing up in Portland. And a lot of their beers are so spot on. The first beer I had when I walked in there last Friday, and it's not the first time I was there. I've been there a bunch before, but was their Kolsch, and their Kolsch was just ridiculous.
Oh God, that thing! And it's the German word for sunshine, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll look it up. I'll check it while you talk, but. In any event, yeah, and then there was another beer there that is probably one of the best of that particular style brewed in this country, as far as I'm concerned.
And John's going to pass the baton to my top 3.
I'm going to pass the baton to Samurai's top 3. Go for it.
Because this is the one we share. We definitely share this one. Bunker. And we want to try to get them on the show, because the first question I want to ask them is, you are 5 minutes away from Bissell.
Yeah, they're literally around the corner. They're on the other side of the highway from Bissell.
Yep. And, because when you look at their ratings on Untapped, it's so unfair. They are so much better than their ratings. And the beer that John's talking about is called The Machine. The Machine is a Czech-style Pilsner. This has got to be with apologies to so many other lager and pilsner heavy breweries like the Source, like Sylvaticus that I'm wearing here.
Sure.
The Machine is, I think, the greatest pilsner that I've ever had in this country. I've never known anyone to have drank that and not gone, holy shit, this is fantastic.
Right.
It really is a fantastic beer. They really know what they're doing there. Yeah, John said the Kolsch, which is new. They didn't do a Kolsch before.
Yeah.
The Kolsch is fantastic. Everything that I've had from there, they're not. If you go there and expect to get a fantastic any IPA, you're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
That's not their jam. Their jam are these lagers, these Kolsches. Anything in the lager style, they are amazing at. So they are definitely on my list. Another one, and they're kind of saison heavy. And John's not been there. There's Odd Alewives. I stumbled upon this place. God, it was dark. I was driving along, and I had the map up because I didn't know where the hell I was. And I just saw this. My Google Maps knows me, and it pins the breweries. I mean, those things. I mean, I could have that thing set to national, and you'd see all the breweries pinned. It just does that automatically. And I saw this, stopped in there. Almost got picked up by a Sikh man who worked. He tried to pick me up. A Sikh man who worked at a pickle factory.
Well, I don't want to know.
Named
I'm
Nikita.
leaving that alone.
So, hi, Nikita.
Nikita, a Sikh named Nikita that worked at a pickle factory, tried to pick you up.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Right.
You can't make that up.
Cheers, Nikita.
Cheers. Any rate, but their beer is absolutely fantastic. They I went there. They had only been open a few months, and they were dialed in, and they've done nothing but improve upon what they've got out there. So my third one, John mentioned Good Fire, and Good Fire was one that I was thinking of putting into my third, but then I thought one of the breweries that really surprised me on this trip. Especially since they've got like 4 locations, and when something's got so many locations, you think it kind of takes away from the beer a little bit, but it didn't. In Bar Harbor, we stopped at a place called Blaze. I think their original is in Biddeford, and they've got one in Camden. I forget where the 4th location is. And the food, oh God, the blueberry barbecue wings were so good, but the beers were really good. And there's a guy up there, Mikey. Mikey originally worked for Equilibrium, and we talked to him for a while. A great bartender, really knows his stuff. So I got to put Blaze on there. So now that you've gone, Johnny's gone, and I've gone, it's time for Joe Granite to lose his shit.
Okay. Joe Granite is going to lose his shit if we do not say that we have to give a special mention to Barreled Souls, because he said that. If nobody says Barreled Souls, I'm going to lose my shit.
Go ahead and lose your shit, Joe. We didn't say it. Well, we did say it. As an honorable mention, Barrel Souls, John and I both passed up Barrel Souls. Well, John didn't because he had to pick some stuff up. I passed up Barrel Souls because at the time I was driving. We had a long day ahead of us. Everything that they had on their list was such a high ABV. Mm-hmm. You know, their pastry stouts are amazing, and they were heavy on the pastry stouts. They were heavy on the milkshakes.
Look,
high ABV milkshakes.
Look, there's a place for all of that, and their pastry stouts are absolutely insanely ridiculously good, mm-hmm. and their milkshakes and some of their heavily fruited sours are insanely ridiculously good.
Right, and Joe's favorite Superman Punch.
Superman Punch is I got a 4-pack of it downstairs for him. So, but in any event,
sorry to interject. I was just trying to think of the name of that beer because I've been there. It's been a couple of years again, but I bought Superman Punch, and is that the one that's like, is it Kool-Aid or Gatorade?
Yeah, they have Kool-Aid in it. There's Kool-Aid
in it. Yeah.
But I was trying to think of the name of that. That's awesome.
But Barreled Souls, when they first opened years and years ago, it was all about barrel-aged beers, right? And it wasn't barrel-aged pastry stouts, and it wasn't barrel-aged sours. It was barrel-aged barley wines, barrel-aged imperial stouts, blends, and all of that. And they were so good. And again, everything they're doing now is ridiculously, insanely good too. But it was different. They rolled with the times, and they changed and everything else. So when I was there, actually, I had a barrel-aged barley wine. Just a barrel-aged barley wine, and it was insanely good. So everything they're doing there is crazy good. But I just, at that time during the day, and I still had an hour and 45-minute ride plus with traffic to Boston, I'm like, I can't have all of these.
But that's not an excuse
12% pastry stouts. So.
It's not really an excuse for leaving them off the list. I think they're not on my list because my palate's changed through the years.
Yeah, that's true.
As you can tell, I'm starting to trend more towards Pilsners, more of the session IPAs. Mm-hmm. I do love my stouts. Pastry stouts, maybe not as much.
Right.
The sweetness.
Yeah, it's the sugar. It's the sweetness of it. I'll drink a good pastry stout. It's like anything else. Like if you're having drinks, if you're having cocktails, right?
Yep.
You drink a lot of sugar in cocktails.
The hangover the next day.
Bahama Mamas and this and that and all of that stuff, right? Your head is like the next day. But if you're drinking, even if it's higher ABV, if it's not that sweet, it's all about the sugar, right?
And if you're in the Facebook group that we're in with Joe, you will know how often he's got a massive hangover the next day after drinking.
Every time he's drinking.
Don't know why.
I wonder why. Joe, let us know. What is it?
I'm never drinking again. Yeah, you are. You're going to do this again
until the next day, right? Although I do have to say, I have to give him kudos. He actually came down last Tuesday, the day before we left to go on this trip. He came down with his wife and daughter, and he and I did not have a beer.
What?
We did not have a beer. Did not.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
Does not compute. It was very odd. It was very. We looked at each other like, did we just not have a beer?
Did you have a cocktail?
Nothing. We went to the beach. We went to the beach. We had sandwiches and we had water. That was it. And Joe says this conversation has taken a turn. He says,
at Joe's expense.
So at Joe's expense. So in any event, but it was interesting. But getting back to the Maine breweries though, it's Dave. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's why we did not have a drink, by the way. Joe was hungover. I didn't want to say it. I let him say it. There you go.
Takes a big man to admit it.
Absolutely. So anyway, but Maine beers, yeah. I mean, all of these breweries.
Big man with a big beard.
Well, not anymore.
We cut it off.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It is gone.
His wife finally put her foot down?
No, I think his daughter put her foot down, actually.
More power.
I think his daughter pulled his beard down, actually, too much. So. but in any event, so it was the trip was great. I had a great time. Dave had a great time. Maine is a great place for beer. You can't go wrong in most places you go to. You really can't.
I can give you a list of those you can go wrong at.
Yeah, but it's a short list, though.
Very, very short list.
As
I said, there's this one brewery where you get a free dose of diacetyl with every pour.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And they don't even even have to add it.
No, it's right
already
there.
In there. It's already there.
And I think they have about 9 or 10 locations. So diacetyl for everybody.
There you go. So,
they just have a butter dish.
If you like butterscotch, you're in. Just go there. But in any event, cool. What's John? What's coming up on the horizon? The short horizon, if you will, event-wise, even for Two Roads.
Here in Jersey, we have two different. We're doing Two Roads Tuesdays, TWO, of course, with the Tuesday.
Of course.
Right now, it's the second Tuesday of the month at Revolution in Morristown, if you're anywhere near Morristown.
Oh, great burgers.
You are.
Yeah, I am. And that's why we're doing it.
I recommend the Revolution burger.
Of course.
Please, yeah. Come have the Revolution burger and then have some Two Roads beer. So that's kind of the next one in the line, and that's a monthly event every second Tuesday.
That's not too shabby.
It's not too shabby. There you go. So, and any events that are there any beer fests or anything else that you guys are attending that are coming up? And there haven't been many. There have been a few that have started up again, but there haven't been many that have been announced.
AC Beer Fest was the main one, which was awesome. That was like kind of like a weird reunion of sorts.
Sure. No,
even though it was outside.
We had John Henderson on the show maybe 3 weeks before the event. It was actually the first AC Beer Fest that I haven't ever gone to. out of all of the AC Beer Fests. It's the first
and
one.
I still have not been to one.
And Dave still has not been to any. So
sounds like you should go together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
arm in arm.
No, just be happy. Just be happy that the one picture that I put up of John and I before was at Vagabond at like 3 p.m. prior to the first session of Friday night, because I think there were a few pictures at about 4 a.m. at Firewaters on Saturday night
with the donkey.
Not good pictures.
Oh no,
not good pictures.
Yeah, that my makeup was all running.
It was his stockings were just, it was bad.
John's wig was askew.
Disarray was askew. It was just bad. So, but in any event,
that's AC for you.
That's AC for you, absolutely. So,
but the donkey looked good.
Absolutely, sure. But in any event, all right. So nothing else on the horizon as far as that goes. Just the beers coming out. You got the fall seasonals on the way. Yep. Cool. That's awesome. And,
we'll have some the fun things that I can't really talk about are going to be Area 2 related. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but those will be coming sooner than later.
We'll give a shout out to when they can find out about it and where they can find out about it. Tell everybody.
Yeah. So your easiest bet is Instagram, Two Roads, TWO Roads Brewing on Instagram, and then also we have individual accounts for each of our systems, so you can actually follow Area 2 Brewing as well. So you can see what's going on in each brewery. I mean, they're all interconnected, but also we do actually have different events happening at Two Roads and Area 2. So follow both and check out what's going on there, and good stuff coming out of that.
Awesome.
And look for the Two Roads Lager Room guys collab soon.
Yep.
Well, no, it's going to be barrel aged
tomorrow.
Tequila barrel.
It's going to be a while. So it is what it is. It's going to be a passion fruit, Persian lime, Goza, barrel aged in tequila barrels. So look for that maybe next May. June, somewhere in there.
Sure. Yeah, Cinco. We'll do Cinco.
We'll do Cinco de Mayo with it. Absolutely. There you go. Perfect. So awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been great.
Thank you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, this has been great. Yeah, it's been a great show. One of the better ones. It's been awesome. Thanks. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to you after we're done. We'll just wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everyone for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 6:30. And for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you could do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us.
Is the Google thing new?
Google thing's about a month old now.
Okay.
They've been saying it.
Did I not catch it last time?
Probably not.
Okay.
It depends on how much you drank. I'm not sure. In any event. But yeah, please follow us, and those of you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great weekend. John, again, thanks for coming on with us. We really appreciate it. It's been a great show.
Thank you, guys.
And we will talk to you soon, guys. Drink a lot of beer. Enjoy it, but drink responsibly, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.
Yep.
Cheers.